Hello everyone. Welcome back to 100 Days of Coding with Derrick-Redeemer. This is the 26th of our 100 Days of Coding journey. In our previous lesson, we learned about the HTML iframe element and how to embed YouTube videos, Google Maps, and other web pages in our website or into our website. Today, we are going to learn about HTML entities and special characters. So this is what we learned in the previous lesson. Don't worry, I think these things are not looking nice. We'll style them later. This is what we learned, and this is what we created in our previous video or lesson. At first, this topic may seem simple, but it is something every web developer uses. It allows us to display characters that HTML normally treats as part of its code, as well as symbols like copyright signs, currency symbols, and spaces. Let's get started. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain what HTML entities are, display reserved HTML characters, use common HTML entities, display symbols such as copyright, trademark, and currency signs. Before we start, imagine you want to display this. So let's say H1, this particular one here. H1. So this. You want to display just that one here, there. Only this. So let me clear the closing tag from there. So imagine you want to display only this one here, this particular one. If you type it directly into your HTML document, the browser will think it is an actual HTML tag instead of what plain text. And you know that's what heading one tag. So how do we tell the browser to display the characters instead of interpreting them? That is where HTML entities come in. What are HTML entities? HTML entities are special codes used to display characters that are either reserved by HTML, difficult to type directly, then special symbols. Most HTML entities begin with an ampersand. The one that you call the end sign. This one here, this particular one, the ampersand, this one. All right. And end with what? A semicolon. And end with what? A semicolon. So this one. And end with what? A semicolon. This one, a semicolon. That particular one. Here. All right. So we'll be creating something like that. So for example, we may have something the ampersand. So something like this. Then out. Then you end with what? A semicolon. Semicolon. So sorry. The semicolon. This. The semicolon here. The first one I typed was colon. So semicolon. So if I open my web browser, so let's try to open the web browser. Yeah. So if you open the web browser, you can see we have what this one here. We have what the less than sign. So this tells the browser to display what a less than what sign. Sorry, a less than what sign. Take note of this. You may use this thing when you are building your website. Why do we need HTML entities? So HTML uses some characters as part of its own syntax. So example include we may have this less than. So this less than. Sorry. Then greater than. Then you also have the ampersand as well. This particular one here. All right. If you want these characters to appear on the web page, we must use their HTML entities because they are part of what HTML already. So we must use what their entities. So example, as we type already. So this one is for what? This particular one is for less than. Then we have greater than as well. So the greater than, that's what the ampersand. Then what GT. Then you end with what the semicolon. This particular one, that's what greater than. Yeah. Then we'll have the ampersand is the ampersand. Sorry, ampersand. The ampersand is so that one, the ampersand. Then we have what AMP. Then we close with what the semicolon. Then we come to the next one. So let's say you want to use the AND. So research and development. How do we do that? So research. So you know the ampersand should be what? Ampersand then amp. So ampersand then app then what semicolon then development. Here, if you open our web browser, we'll see what something similar to that. So you can see here, this one here. This is what I mean. This particular one here. Then sometimes maybe we want a double quote. How do we do that? We also have what the ampersand. So the ampersand then what quote. So quote, don't type what the quote in full. So this one here. So if you open the browser again, you still see what the same thing. This one here. Hope you can see. All right. Let's go to different one. Then we have a non-breaking what space. So the ampersand. So the ampersand. Then non-breaking what space. Non-breaking what space. Non-breaking space. This particular one here. This particular one. This one. It creates an extra space that the browser will not collapse. The browser will not collapse. Then we also have a copy as well. The one that we did for the footer. I told you the footer cannot be only the copyright. Can contain links and other things. So how do we do the copyright? So copy. So copy this. That's what copy. Right. When you open the web browser, if you open the web browser, you see it here. Yes. Now hope you can see that there is huge space here. There is huge space between what the copy and what the ampersand. Sorry, the double quotes. Is because of what this thing that we include here. This particular one here. All right. We also have what registered trademark. The registered what trademark. So registered. The registered what trademark. So let's open our web browser again. Now you can see this particular one here. All right. Then we also have trademark symbol. Sometimes you see here trademark what symbol. So how do you type the trademark? That's trade. There's a trade. So trade this. So if you open the web browser, you will see what the trademark, this particular one here. Here. All right. Now you can someone might say you want to type dollar. You want to type what? Dollar. How do we do that? So the ampersand. Then what you include what? Sorry. Asterisk. Sorry. Hash. Then 36. Then you close. Sorry. You introduce what the semicolon. If you open the web browser again, you see it's this what the dollar symbol. All right. Then what about euros? What about euro? Euro, you can have something like this. So then the euro. If you open, you will still see what the euro sign. All right. We can also have pound. So pound. So the ampersand. Then what pound. So you have a pound. Then you close. If you open the web browser, you see what the pound symbol. So this particular one here. All right. Then we have. So here I would love to use Ghana Cedis as well. Ghana Cedis. So here, if you don't know any HTML entities, you can go to the web browser. Then you search for the any currency that you want, the entity, the HTML entity for that currency, or anything that you want to type. You search for it. Then you have the currency. So there is no name HTML entity for the Ghana Cedi symbol. Instead, we use its Unicode numerical entity. So you can search for Unicode numerical entity. So how do we type the series? The ampersand. Then you have 837. So 8373. Then you close. Sorry, you introduce what the semicolon. If you open, so let me open the web browser. Now you can see this what the CD sign. Yeah. Someone can type GH. Someone can type this one here. It's acceptable. That's Ghana Cedis. But the symbol for Ghana Cedis is for this one. The symbol for Cedi is this. The ampersand, then hash 8373. Then you introduce what the semicolon. All right. Now you're going to create a mini or practical example, or let me include an example here. So HTML entities. So let me name the file entities. So entities.html. Yeah. So here you are going to create something like this. Then HTML. Body. Then let's say the title, the heading. Here I'll not include title. So let's say HTML what entities example. Let's do it that way. Okay. So HTML entities example. So I will name that one H2. Or the heading should be H2. Let's say H2. So the H2 as our HTML what entities. Then here we are going to include what whatever we length. So paragraph. So let me introduce the paragraph. So paragraph, that's what I said LT, then colon, semicolon, sorry. Then let's say H1, NGT. So sorry, ampersand, NGT. Then let's introduce the. Then let's say this is a heading. So this is a heading. So let's name it that way. This is a heading. Then this ampersand. Then LT. Then let's say H1. Then we include what NGT. So GT. Sorry, GT. All right. Then let's move to different one. We are going to introduce what copy. So paragraph. So copy. What did I say the copies? Ampersand. Then copy. 2026. So 2026. Derrick-Redeemer. So Derrick-Redeemer. Then let's move to the next one. The next one we are going to introduce something nice here. Sorry. So the paragraph again. So the paragraph price. Let's say that one is price. Then we introduce this. So the price, sorry. So the price ampersand. Then now 8373. So you want to include what currency? So 250. So 250 cedis, 250 cedis. Then we move to the next one. Let's say the next one is research and what development. Let's say that way. P paragraph. So research. Then ampersand. Then and development. So then let's move to a different one. Let's say there's a paragraph again. Then HTML. Then non space breaking space non space breaking space. Sorry, non breaking space. So the ampersand. Then we have what the non breaking space. So NBPS. There this. Then we have CSS. So let's say CSS. Then the NB. There's one again. The ampersand. Then we have, let's say yes, non-breaking space, non-breaking space. Then we'll have let's say JavaScript, JavaScript. Yeah, all right. So now let's open our web browser to see whatever we typed so far. All right. Now you can see here. So this one, this particular, you can see that the browser has not treated that one as what H1 or heady one. Are you here? All right. Now, suppose you are creating an online store, you may need to display what product prices, copyright information, company names containing what the ampersand. Then a reserved HTML characters in tutorial. HTML entities make all this work possible. And imagine you are speaking a language that has secret code words. Whenever you want to display a reserved character, you use its special code instead. That is exactly how HTML entities work. Right. And let's look at some common beginner mistakes. Let's look at some common mistakes we make. So we sometimes type for the H1. So we sometimes type for the H1. This particular one here. We sometimes type this one. And here we sometimes type that one instead of bringing this. I told you this what the greater than, sorry, the less than sign, and this what the greater than what sign. Yeah. So the L, you just think of the L as less, then the T as what than, then the G as what greater, and then the T as what than. Just think of it like that. All right. So mistake 3, we sometimes write research and development. So instead of writing where is it? So yes, this particular one here, this particular, instead of introduce this one, we introduce what the ampersand and the ampersand and this is one the best. Mistake 3, using multiple normal spaces. Browser automatically collapse multiple spaces into our one. That's why we use what this particular one here. That's why we use what this particular one here. All right. So I forgot to introduce something as well. That's the trademark and the registration. So the register mark. So the trademark. What did I say the trademark is? So that's what trade. So I'll include trade here. So the price. So here, paragraph. So I'm going to include trademark. So P. So let's say the trademark. How can we introduce the trademark? So this, then trade. This one. Here. Then you can have another one. So P. So P. So let's say now we want to introduce what registration, the registered trademark. So this we're going to introduce the direct reg. Right. So let's open our web browser again. So you can see this one. I mean this, and then this. All right. So yeah, I'm going to give you a mini problem here. So here you are going to create a web page that display this one, that display this particular one here, this one, that display this, and here that display that, and a copyright symbol, a trademark symbol, the Ghana Cedi symbol, a sentence containing an ampersand. Run your web page and check that all symbols display correctly. Today we learn HTML entities, reserved characters. We learned about all this one. We also talk about the currencies. So as I already said, if you are looking for anything, you open your web browser, then you search for the HTML entities and their Unicode, numeric Unicode. Excellent work. Today you have learned how to use HTML entities to display reserved characters, especially symbols and currency signs correctly on your web page. These entities are widely used in professional websites and will help you write cleaner, more accurate HTML code. In the 27, we will learn about the favicon or the favorite icons, file organization, and HTML best practices, helping you make your project look more professional and easier to manage. Thank you for joining the 26 of 100 days of coding with Derrick-Redeemer. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep coding. I'll see you in the 27. Happy coding.